Shadow football. This game was either going to be an absolute goal fest given both teams' attacking prowess, or it was going to be a very tight, low-scoring affair. Forget the title race for a second. This was a great game between the two best sides in England, and City's richly deserved victory now makes this title race very, very interesting. So how did Manchester City hang on after taking an early lead? How did they keep Chelsea out? And could Chelsea have done more in attack? Both teams played how you'd expect them to. City lined up in a 4-3-3, with the usual trident of Kelly, Hemp, and Shaw up front. City like to build up like so. Hasagawa will drop in between the centre-halves and create a back three. The two full-backs will push up close to the midfield line, allowing the wingers to receive the ball higher up, in a more dangerous part of the pitch, essentially in a 3-4-3 shape. It's no secret how they like to play. City will always look to get the ball to Lego enthusiast Lauren Hemp or Chloe Kelly, who, according to Bunny Shaw, is apparently 40% Jamaican.
I always say I think she's 40% Jamaican.
As they both possess blistering pace, incredible ball control and agility, and a great cross on them, relying on both of them to create as well as finish. Laura Coombs is great at finding space for herself in dangerous areas, and Jess Park's close control allows her to dribble through tight spaces and create chances centrally. City have 4 good crossing options, 2 forward-minded midfielders, and Hasagawa to clean everything up. These are the building blocks of City's attack, which are different to Lauren Hemp's building blocks she likes to play with when she's not out on the pitch giving us a clinic on how to be a world-class winger.
Ta-da!
Chelsea, on the other hand, lined up in their usual 4-2-3-1. Emma Hayes likes to give James a very free role, letting her pick up the ball wherever she wants and just letting her do her thing. Chelsea's best chance in the first half came from Lauren James dropping deeper to receive the ball, dragging Laia Alexandri completely out of position. Alexandri commits to the challenge, allowing LJ to turn away and drive up the pitch. She cuts back inside and finds Ramirez. Greenwood is now fixated on Ramirez, which leaves Leopolds free. Uhabi now has Leopolds and Fran Kirby to watch. Melanie Leopolds gets the ball to Kirby as soon as she can whilst Uhabi is committed to her, and Keating saves a decent Kirby effort. This was the smoothest Chelsea build-up in the first half, and probably the whole game, as this is what Chelsea want to do when attacking. They want to play through the opposition. Chelsea like to drop an attacker back, dragging the opposition defense out of position, and that's when they're so dangerous. We've seen them rip teams to shreds by playing through them. So, City simply didn't let them, except for that one time I just talked about. But other than that one time, City didn't let them play through the middle at all. Manchester City normally deploy a 4-2-3-1 system, but for this game, Gareth Taylor wanted to congest the middle of the park with Park, Coombs, and Hasagawa in a 3-woman midfield. City didn't press high this game, rather pressing whenever Chelsea wanted to enter their half. They kept a very organised 4-5-1 shape in defence, and were aggressive in their press, ushering Chelsea back out constantly. Playing a 3-woman midfield against Chelsea's 2 meant that City had a midfielder free to go and press higher up. This happened whenever Chelsea's midfield and defence were isolated whenever they had the ball. Like this example. Jess Carter gets the ball from Natalie Bjorn, who has been a fantastic signing for them. And here, you can see City's very obvious 5-woman midfield shape, plus Bunny Shaw up top. The phrase, hospital pass, is defined as a pass made under pressure without considering the situation of the receiver, who is often stationary and thus presents an easy target. And as a massive rugby union fan myself, I've seen my fair share of hospital passes.
Up over halfway he goes.
If Jess Carter here passes the ball to Erin Cuthbert, forget a hospital, this is an airlift to the nearest emergency room pass. Cuthbert has 5 hungry wolves licking their lips ready to pounce on her if she receives this ball, which is incidentally another way of saying Cuthbert is extremely isolated. Noticing that Carter doesn't know what to do, Laura Coombs surprises Carter and she absolutely bricks it and tosses the ball to Lawrence, who then plays a hospital pass to Cuthbert. Jess Park intercepts and Cuthbert puts her in the hospital by committing a foul. City would lay traps for Chelsea to absolutely walk into and then pounce on their prey. Chelsea found it tough in the first half to create many clear-cut chances, due to City defending in a really organised manner, and also Chelsea's build-up wasn't quite working. I went over how Chelsea like to drop an attacker back to build up, but the issue this game was that the players around them don't make themselves available when space is created. Lauren James picks up the ball here after dropping back. but her teammates aren't in a very good position to receive the ball. James always tries to play the ball forward and finds a pass out to Kirby, who goes backwards. They then sort of faff about for a bit, and Niamh Charles plays an ambulance pass to Erin Cuthbert. Jess Park presses her, knowing she can do that because she has 2 midfielders behind her anyways due to their 3-woman midfield. Cuthbert doesn't even try to turn and plays a safe pass to Carter. Guro Reiten now drops back, dragging Leah Uhabi out of position. However, Ashley Lawrence doesn't make a move to run in behind into the space that Reiten has just created, and neither does Ramirez. Leupolz gets the ball back, and with no one making a run in behind for Chelsea, Leupolz then plays a hospital pass to Cuthbert, who has a Park, a Bunny, and a 40% Jamaican ready to close her down. Cuthbert turns to face forward this time, thinking she's safe to do so, but Jess Park is alert and absolutely beelines it to her. Park wins the ball, slips a neat ball for Bunny Shaw, who scores her 14th goal of the season, and the only goal of the game, giving City the lead, and a lead they never relinquished. There was much intrigue as to how Mayra Ramirez will fit into this Chelsea side. She's a very strong, aggressive player with a very high work rate. She's only been at the club for under a month, and it takes a lot of time for a player to gel with the rest of the team. It's a bit unfortunate that the only player that speaks Spanish in the Chelsea team is goalkeeper Hannah Hampton, making the on-field translation duties just a tad bit more difficult for them. Ramirez likes to drop back to hold up the ball and link up with her teammates, but so does Lauren James. Fran Kirby is an attacking midfielder who's more of a creator rather than a finisher, and so likes to lurk around the final third instead of making a run into the box, which leaves Guro Reiten the only player running in behind the City defence. What ends up happening is that whenever Chelsea cross the ball in, no one is there in a dangerous area. Niamh Charles plays a wonderful ball to Reiten, but Ramirez looks for the link up behind her. Kirby is all the way back here, and LJ is all the way out there since she switched to the right hand side in the second half. Reiten takes the ball outwards, looking to cross the ball in, and would you look at that? There is not a single Chelsea player in the box. Keating ends up claiming it quite easily since Kirby couldn't get there in time. It takes time for a team to gel, and probably even more time since the player they're trying to gel with is the number 9. This will take a while, but I know Chelsea will get there. But right now, it does look like Chelsea are expecting Ramirez to be the Colombian Sam Kerr, but they are very different players. The biggest difference between them is where they like to position themselves for a cross. Sam Kerr likes to position herself in between defenders, whether it's near the back post or around the middle, making her incredibly hard to pick up. Ramirez likes to run across the defender, towards the near post. We saw this for her backheel goal against Crystal Palace, and she kept making the same runs again this game. Her teammates were unable to find her as it's just not something they're used to yet. Ramirez makes a move across Greenwood here, hoping Johanna Rytting-Kanerud would cross it. The ball goes back to Cuthbert, who sends in a pretty good cross aimed at the space between Alexandri and Greenwood. This is where Sam Kerr would most likely be, which would present a fantastic chance for her. But Ramirez has made a run across Greenwood, and this is the adjustment her teammates need to make if they want her to start scoring some goals. Chelsea really piled on the pressure in the second half, but City had an answer for everything. They were mainly reduced to hopeful long balls forward to get themselves up the pitch, but they didn't need to score. They already had the lead and were laser focused on keeping Chelsea out in the second 45. An extra goal would just be a bonus. Special mention must go to Leah Alexandri, who had a spectacular game, winning everything and defended with real courage. And also Alex Greenwood, who, after looking at a career path, I'm surprised hasn't been crucified in Liverpool or Manchester, had an equally excellent game as well. Both centre-halves deserve so much praise for their performances this game. Organised defences take a lot of mental strength to maintain, especially when you're getting fatigue from all the running, but City kept it together really well and kept a very deserved clean sheet. Emma Hayes brought on Johanna Rytting-Kanerud, hoping she would be the catalyst for change for them. And she was pretty bloody good, honestly. Her directness caused a few problems for City's defence. Chelsea's best chance in the second half started from her fearless mindset to take on the City back line. Uhabi backed off tackling her and she laid the ball on a plate for Cuthbert to strike it, and that was so nearly the equaliser. This begs the question, why didn't she start? I mean, I probably have 1% of Emma Hayes' footballing brain, but a play of Kanerud's directness and tireless running would have caused City a lot more problems than they did in the first half. If Hayes' plan was to bring her on as an impact sub, then that definitely worked. But one must wonder what could have been if she had started the game. Johanna Rytting-Kanerud has been Chelsea's most consistent player this season, And the most consistent player for City this season is arguably Hasagawa. She's not normally a holding midfielder, but she's consistently showed how high her football IQ is, because she played that position perfectly, and has been doing so all season. She's extremely calm and composed on the ball, and rarely gives the ball away. She's fantastic at setting her teammates off on an attacking phase, and just so reliable on the ball. It was her ball to Jess Park, releasing her into the Chelsea half and in behind their midfield, that led to a pretty decent chance for Chloe Kelly. Her defensive contribution was equally amazing. She's always in the correct position, blocking off any passing lanes through their midfield. She's incredible at reading the game and made countless interceptions to stop Chelsea, and she constantly fills in for her teammates if they're out of position. What really impressed me is what a lot of holding midfielders fail to do, and that is to cover the space between the fullback and the centre back when the ball is out wide. When a fullback has gone out wide to close down an opposition winger, it's the holding midfielder's job to fill in here and track any midfield runners that might exploit this space. JRK is out here on the ball, and Hasagawa has gone to track Nuskin. Once she realizes Kanadud is going to combine with Chankovic, she immediately sprints back to cover the space left by Ohabi. She's positioned in the place where she can block across from Kanadud, or intercept a pass to Nuskin. This ultimately comes to nothing for Chelsea, but Hasagawa has done her job perfectly here, removing any option of Chelsea coming inwards. Or this one, Lawrence plays a good ball in behind for Ramirez, who makes a run across Greenwood. Look where Hasagawa is headed, right for that space Greenwood and Wahabi have left behind. Ramirez manages to muscle her way around Greenwood and fires across into the box, which is blocked by, you guessed it, Hasagawa. Hasagawa is rarely praised amongst the hype of Bunny Shaw, Lauren Hemp, Chloe Kelly, and you can throw Kiara Keating in there too, who had an exceptional game. But here at Shadow Football, I like to highlight players that are rarely mentioned, and Hasagawa deserves the same amount of attention her other teammates are getting. We've seen Chelsea rip teams apart all season by catching them out during a build-up, but City are so confident on the ball as a team and kept their defensive line low, not letting Chelsea get in behind them. This is how Arsenal beat them as well, and I think City have just shown everyone else in the league how to beat Chelsea. I hope Mayra Ramirez can gel with her teammates soon, as they'll be looking for a constant source of goals towards the tail end of the season. As for City, if they keep this up, they might be able to snatch the title from under Chelsea's noses, denying the chance for Chelsea to send Emma Hayes off to the USA with a final WSL title.